It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Insights of a Survivor. It's me, your host, PJ, bringing you another week of inspiration and motivation and uplifting. But before we get started, I would also always like to acknowledge that today's episode may cover sensitive topics, some including domestic violence, survivorship, healing journeys, and some content may be sensitive or triggering for listeners who have experienced any type of trauma. Please take care of yourself while listening to this. Pause if you need to, reach out for support, prioritize your well-being because that's what matters, is your well-being, okay? And again, welcome back. I am PJ, and today, before we bring our next guest, I want to talk about something that has carried me through the darkest moments of my life. It's the unstoppable power of the human spirit. I know that sometimes we feel broken because, I know what it feels like to feel silenced, unseen, and pushed to the edge like I'm just going to break. I know what it's like to live through trauma that steals your voice and that tries to shatter your safety. And I'm going to say something's going on with my camera, everyone. So if you don't see me, I am so sorry. I am trying to get it to work. If you can hear me, awesome. But I've been trying to get this thing to get on for me, and it's not working. So let's get our fingers to see me. Okay. I want you guys to see me. It said it stopped. So let's hope that let's hope that I can get it to working before the interview is over. So like I said, I know what it means to be betrayed by people who were supposed to protect you and still fight, because I still fought. I had to get up sometimes the next day to, act like nothing ever happened. But here's what I also know. You can overcome. It's hard, but you can overcome. And not because it gets easier, but because you get stronger. Not because you're lucky, but because you refuse to give up. Not because it didn't hurt, but because you chose to rise anyway. I did not create this platform as a brand or a business move. I created it because I survived what was meant to destroy me. I created it because I know the weight of silence. I know the pain of carrying trauma in your body while keeping moving in this world. And I know that even in the worst moments, there's a spark in the human spirit that refuses to die. It's not about just resilience. It's about reclaiming your power, reclaiming your voice, reclaiming your life. This podcast, Insights of a Survivor, and my YouTube channel, Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors, were both built to amplify that spark, to remind every survivor, every overcomer, every silent warrior that you are not alone. I lived through betrayal. I lived through silence. I lived through trauma. Most people would not have survived, and yet I am here. And if I can stand in my truth, so can you. Because the truth is this: the human spirit refuses to let you die. And I have an incredible guest today, Mr. Dwayne Morton. I'm going to pull him in. He's going to introduce himself, and he's going to give you an idea of what it's like to be resilient and have an unbroken human spirit. Thank you, Dwayne, for coming on the show. I still can't see me, and I guess it's something that's on the show as well. So you're going to be the handsome gentleman taking control of this show today. We're going to put you up front so everyone can see you. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong person because that's me. We're going to put you up front. Everyone can see you, tell your story, and you can take it from there.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. Time is the most valuable commodity that we all have. So anytime that anyone gives me the opportunity for their to have their time to share my story, share the trauma, share the resilience that I had to have to overcome, it's just with the utmost gratitude. I want to say thank you, PJ. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on here, share my story on your platform. Uh, with the utmost gratitude, I just want to say thank you. So
Oh, you're so welcome.
so I'm Dwayne Morton. I'm a former international basketball player. Um, and through that journey, there's a lot to unpack, but really the part with basketball is where I got my resilience. And so the part with how I went and played basketball is part of the resilience too. But there was one part of the story that I want to share, and as I introduce myself, I met this 5-year-old boy who had not eaten in 3 days while I was overseas, and that broke my heart. But that allowed me to understand that our nightmares are other people's dreams. And so through that, I was able to go through the challenges that I faced through my life and was able to push through. So at 29, I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer. I was originally given 5 years to live. So for me, I did not want other people to go through what I was going through. So I didn't have a wife, I didn't have kids. Even later on, I got pushed to about 15 years to live. Um, so that gets me to about 2021. So in 2022, on May 16th, I was involved in a police shooting. A criminal shot an officer. There was a shootout. Myself, I was driving by. I was just a bystander, and a stray bullet hit the truck that I was driving. So if that bullet would have been an eighth of an inch to the left, it kills me. An eighth of an inch to the right, it hits my little niece who was 3 years old at the time. So was dealing with PTSD and survivor's guilt. And then as I'm going through this, this issue with the blood cancer, and I feel like, hey, I'm just waiting to die. I go through this miracle. And it just, PJ, I'll be honest, it was still kind of just, it confused me. And so later on, I find out March of 2024, March 8th, I found out that I was misdiagnosed of the blood cancer. I don't have it. I'm healthy. All I have is sleep apnea. So it takes a couple of months to fix it. And so 2024, I was healing. 2025, I'm trying to take over the world. I am so honored to be able to share my story, but all of it has this beautiful double rainbow coming. Now I haven't seen the pot of gold at the end, but it's coming, right? And so that's the thing is, so PJ, you can just ask questions away, but I mean that's really where I'm at right now. Is I'm still, I, I have healed probably about 90% maybe at this point, but I'm still in the process of healing, and then I help others go through their healing journey.
I mean, I get that. Being shot by those who are meant to protect you, and your niece, your niece sitting right next to you. So that I can imagine the trauma that both of you sustained with that, and then being misdiagnosed with blood cancer and thinking that you're going to die. You can't hear me?
I can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear
I can
me?
hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, I
he's
can hear
saying
you.
he can't hear me either. Okay, so something's going on with Mike because
No,
he said he can't hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Mark, is your speaker turned up? Well, my question, I'll ask you the questions and you could just answer them. I think he had his phone turned down. So I'm so sorry for anyone
That's okay.
who heard that. You guys know my husband and my manager. Sometimes he tells me things, but again, I can get through that. I can just imagine the trauma that you faced when you were in that car and you were a victim of being a bystander or something that had nothing to do with you and the trauma that it had on your knee. So, I mean, it sounds like you overcome a lot and being mixed diagnosed. I'm hearing a lot more about how individuals are not getting the treatment medically that they need. And I just can only imagine years of just imagining I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. To me, that's a form of torture. Like, how did you deal with that trauma? How did you deal with that in the midst of even going through that? You said you had to deal with the emotional parts of it, but now you're able to thrive. But like, kind of walk me through your journey of when you found out you were diagnosed versus, when you found out, and how did you feel when you found out that you were misdiagnosed? Like, I know you were PO'd. I know you were.
So confused. It was confusion at the first two with the diagnosis. I was 29 years old. Um, so PJ, what happened was I was on my way to work and I couldn't get up 3 flights of stairs, and I was like, hold on, like I run all the time, like something's wrong. And so I went to the doctor, but like the night before, I ran 2 miles and I played basketball, full court basketball with college kids. So I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense. But I couldn't catch my breath. It wasn't a panic attack either. It was just like there was something where I had nothing else. I had no gas. So when I he originally told me the diagnosis, I was like, okay, what can I do to change it? And so that's the other thing is I was doing anything and everything I could to change it. So I'm from a small town in Western Kentucky. I eat Southern comfort food, fried chicken. I eat steak. So I was thinking, hey, maybe I should try vegan. So I tried vegan for a little bit and it just none of that stuff worked. And as we know now from, hindsight's 2020, none of it could have worked. My body did not go into REM, so my body wasn't able to repair itself. But going through it, I think the hardest part was when my parents and my brother were sitting in the office and the doctor gave me 5 years to live. I'll go ahead and tell you, I was in shock enough that I don't remember it. My brother, I always tell people I had 15. And it wasn't till a few months ago, my brother's like, no, man. He was like, I was there. He said that you had 5 years. So that
Wow.
was another aspect of just the diagnosis. Also, I had just started kind of dating someone kind of serious, and then that kind of fell apart because she didn't want to deal with it. And
Right.
like she said that, right?
Oh my
And
goodness.
right, no, but that's the
Oh
thing
my
is
God.
like, but that's the thing is we weren't married. There was no, I wasn't engaged to her.
Yeah,
We had, it
I
was
get it.
it was an early relationship too. That's the other
Okay,
thing.
I understand.
But still, PJ, that was when it was like, oh, I'm by myself. I have I do have family and I have friends, but like I'm by myself on this. And also being diagnosed with a rare blood cancer means I can't go and research it because there's nothing to research. And that was another aspect of it. I wasn't sure what I had. And so it wasn't until probably 4 or 5 years later that they had a better idea, and that's when the number changed and those type of things. But I was pretty naive to a lot of it, but I also was like, I'm just going to halt where I'm at. And so PJ, here's the thing is I was
Hmm.
at a really decent job at that time
Hmm.
with insurance. And as long as I kept under the FMLA, I was fine. But once I went over FMLA, that was the issue. And so I wasn't able to thrive in work. That was what I was going to like. I wasn't able to thrive in work. I was dealing with all these things. I was dealing with all these doctor's visits. So one day I'm sitting there at the computer and I can't see the screen. And so I'm like, hey, I need y'all, somebody call help. Like, I'm not sure. I think I'm having a heart attack. Maybe I'm having a stroke. I'm not sure. They come in, they stretcher me out of the office. And the other part of this is I went to ER. They diagnosed me with like, I don't even remember, like a Cinecope or something like that, where you just dehydrated and, you get dizzy. So it was nothing major, but I knew that he wanted to check my heart. And I was like, okay. So I talked to my boss and he's like, hey, I need you here tomorrow. If you're not here tomorrow, I have to fire you. So I got fired the day after I was stretchered out of the office.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh my
so for me,
goodness.
also is I grew up in a small town, but my parents owned a small business since I was 4 or 5 years old. So it made me realize, like, why am I putting my eggs in the basket of a company? That was the one of the other things that kind of came. Um, but through this whole battle, it was just like it was playing tug of war, but I wasn't. I was kind of staying at a standstill. I wasn't making any progress and I wasn't losing any progress. I was just getting weaker. And that's the best explanation of what it felt like. So
Mhm.
for the listeners at home is I felt like I had the flu every day. But think about if you have the flu and then you only have half a tank of energy. So the thing, I'm sorry, a quarter of a tank of energy. I don't know why I said half because I promise I didn't have that, but a quarter tank of energy. And so there's things that you have to stop doing. Okay. Like personally, like I used to take 4 showers a day. At that time, I was skipping days because I did not have the energy. But PJ, the one thing I did know is I did have some mindset stuff that other people didn't have. And I knew, hey, whenever I did something, celebrate it. So I was able to kind of maintain a little bit of my mindset. But
Awesome.
a lot of it, PJ, it was just I was around the right
Mhm.
people that I trusted in mentorship. They were there that helped me through. My family and my friends, they kind of still didn't understand. And I'm
Mhm.
not even really sure they truly understand even to this day. Um,
Mhm.
but the one thing that I will say is other people don't realize when you have a health issue, we miss memorable events. I missed my best friend's wedding. I was in the wedding. I missed it. I was in one of my other really good friends when I lived in Louisville. I missed her wedding. I wanted to go. Like there's these events that I wanted to go and I just couldn't make it. And it wasn't like I didn't want to go. It it was just like sometimes there's times you just can't get on a plane. There's times that you just don't have the energy to go. So there's a whole different aspect of chronic illness or these type of things that other people just are not aware of. So, PJ, one thing that out of this was I learned how to network. I met a guy who was mentored by Jim Rohn, the great motivational speaker, and mentored Jim Rohn in public speaking. So I was thinking, hold on a second, why am I getting these type of opportunities, but I'm not able to do anything with them? Like I'm unable. Like I'm lucky to get off the couch and you know the jobs that I was able to get I would lose because I couldn't make the 90-day period too. So there was just so much tug of war. Um what I will say is God bless all the nurses that I met. All the nurses were amazing. That's what I was going to say is like nurses have one of the most difficult jobs but some of the most incredible people. And I don't know where I would have been with them because they helped keep me on track. But PJ, there was times that I went to the doctor 3 times a week. So I mean, there was just um, I have like a bunch of paperwork. It's like this.
Mhm.
So all of that time, I feel like, hey, because you had asked that question about being pissed off. When I found out I got misdiagnosed, I
Mhm.
just thought of lost time. So there's a grief
Yes.
part, but also it was from like I was in a prison and I was set free. But the other thing about these two traumatic experiences is I didn't do these things to myself either. So
Okay.
I think that's one of the more difficult things that I had to go through. Um,
Mhm.
but I also have never really I haven't went into that full victim mentality. There was times that I was definitely in it, but I
Mhm.
kind of went out of it like in October of last year. But that's really when you start getting a better grasp on your trauma is when you realize, oh, these things happen maybe for us. But really it's not that. They happen through us. Like we have strong enough shoulders to handle it.
Right.
And then we teach the lesson and so those people we're able to facilitate the lesson to people. So they learn the lesson through us. So that was the
I love
other
that.
part of this. And I'll talk more about the shooting too, but the diagnosis part, I'm not I look at it from this standpoint, BJ,
Mhm.
is I'm looking at it from a lens of, if I did this,
Mhm.
how would I want to be treated? So I
Okay.
treat the doctor. I don't think the doctor maliciously did this to
No,
me,
I
right?
don't believe that either.
The, the other thing, PJ, is the doctor that released me, he was the seventh doctor that I went to. So there were
Oh,
six doctors that just followed suit, and they put me in a box. They never let me out. And so uh, there's just sometimes things just happen. So whether I got healed, I was misdiagnosed, all I know is I'm healthy. I have to wear a CPAP every night, and that's fine. I get my life back. So the people that are struggling with sleep apnea, that are like, well, I don't want to do this mask. I don't like this mask. Okay. I don't like a lot of stuff, but guess what? You do it anyway. And
right.
so I think that's the most important thing. If some of the people with sleep apnea, I hear them complain. I'm like, why are you even complaining? This could be so much worse. That's what I was going to say.
Right. It's not blood cancer. If I have to sleep with a mask on my face to get the energy I need, I think I'm going to just sleep with the mask on my face. So I think I take that. So, yeah, I understand that. I mean, and you said that it was the mindset that kind of got you through this. I mean, that is very powerful to share. Can you kind of dive in a little bit about what you spoke about it a little bit. Can you dive in a little bit deeper with
Yeah.
that? Because I mean, I'm really all for mindset and mind shifting because
Yeah.
that saved your life to me.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I was equipped with some major tools that I just did. I didn't really even realize the impact that they have. Looking back, having that ability to look back at my life, especially as I'm working on the book, that was a huge thing. So this is something that I can give your listeners. If you go to my website, show up to win with a number 2, um, I'm going to give you my morning routine. And this is what I did every day to keep me on track. So the first thing I did was gratitude. I I thank God every day for giving me that day, because PJ, most people didn't have that day. And so when you look at it from that aspect, world looks a lot better. Number 2 for me is I stretch while I'm in bed. So the number 2 thing is self-care. So I like to stretch just because I played a lot of basketball. I got beat up. So I like to stretch. I like to make sure my neck, all those different things. So I just think you should just somehow do some type of self-care, whether it's read something, just something for yourself. So the number 3 and number 4 step are probably the things that most people physically do, right? Every day. They just don't have that mindset of this. So I take a runner's mentality approach to step 3 and 4. Step 3 is just movement. And so when you move, you have to go left foot, right foot. So it's a runner's mentality. It's the military part. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. So I go throughout my day like that. And so PJ, one of the things is I cannot look back all the time. And there was times in I was struggling with looking in the past, but I cannot run. Not I'm slow. I'm going to get off direction, but it's also going to make me depressed. Same thing. If I'm looking so far out into the future and I'm looking at the destination, I'm going to get off track. And so it's also going to make me anxious. But truly, the present is the gift when you're able to just focus on the present and what you see. I take like a 15, 20-foot approach when I run. And so it's really about just being present and look out for potholes. And so it goes to so the number 3 step is movement. And then we go into the 4th step, and that's adaptability. Adaptability is so important. There's going to be times where we just run into things that life throws at us. So in boxing, they teach you to roll with the punch, right? In runner's mentality, we have to look for obstacles. So potholes, like when you're driving a car, like you don't want to hit the pothole center on. You want to hit it, either you don't want to hit it, or if you hit, you want to hit a side of it. Does less damage to your vehicle. But here's the thing, life is going to throw stuff at you. Unexpected bills, might lose a job. You're definitely going to lose a loved one. Like those are things that is going to happen. Life is just going to throw you obstacles. It's really what you do to take around that pothole. Prepare. Am I unprepared? But those type of things, I feel like they're so important. So that's my morning routine. It's called Dwayne's Daily Plan of Attack. It's part of my website. Um, you know, I feel it's one of the most important things that I did, but it kept me consistent. Truly just kept me consistent.
I love that you say adaptability. That's one of the biggest things that we understand, and I thank you that you even acknowledge that. You have to, like you say, roll with the punch, because there were days that you probably felt like everything was crumbling on over you, and without that adaptability, it could have taken you to a darker spot. So thank you for sharing that. You say that you were also an international basketball player. Did this
Yes.
you how were you a basketball player before the diagnosis, and how did that affect that?
Oh, okay. So the basketball part is like, this is just God working. Like I didn't play my last 2 years of high school. I was a good player, but it's all about opportunity. And I just felt, hey, I'm going to get an opportunity. So I kept practicing, kept doing drills. So this is where I actually learned visualization. I actually taught this to myself. I didn't know what I was doing. Um, when I was in middle school, typing, I learned I learned how to type, right? But I did it by closing my eyes and visualizing the keys. And so I just one day, I don't know why, but I started doing it with basketball. And so I didn't know about visualization, how it gives you the experience and the confidence of all that. And here's the thing, when you do stuff in your mind, you don't miss. So I got this big, huge boost of confidence. And so I made the best out of these different opportunities. I went overseas with a really good team, this American team on a mission trip. And because of that, an agent spotted me and saw that I was young. And he was like, he was like, hey, I think I can get you a place to play. Unfortunately, through my life, there's different challenges. I hurt my knee. I didn't get to go. Like I'm not a professional player. I only played on a mission trip. So I'm an international basketball player, but I didn't go semi-pro or anything like that. Um, but that was my dream, just to play past the high school.
Okay, well, that's I'm sorry, I was reading
That's
a
okay.
comment. So
That's okay.
the diagnosis really didn't affect your international. That's just a
No,
beautiful blessing that you were able to experience. And I'm loving that you're using the visualization. I am horrible with words, but you guys know what I mean.
that's
Um,
okay.
so
So,
basically,
so
you kind of. I'm so
there's a
sorry.
10-year.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's a 10-year span. I was 19 when I did the basketball.
Okay.
And the other thing is when I had the knee surgery, the doctor said, "Hey, she's like, you've had knee injuries before. She's like,
Hmm.
I think you're going to need a knee replacement the way you're going, especially if you play competitive basketball, like
Hmm.
in your early 30s." And I was like, "Hey, I'm done with basketball. Like I felt like I hit my ceiling. I just didn't feel like there was anything else there to squeeze out of it. There was just like, okay, I really wanted to look and see what life had for me."
There's something that I actually did not address that you mentioned, and I think that that is something that is very beautiful about you. You do not blame the doctors for misdiagnosing you. You do not. That takes a very big, kind hearted person to actually forgive something that had such a detrimental effect on your life. How did you get to the point where you were able to forgive? Because, I mean, some people will be like, no, I'm suing, I'm angry. You took 5 years of my life away from me. I lost jobs because of you. I lost my livelihood because of you. I've lost my some willingness to even want to live. But you you were just grateful for the fact that you knew that you weren't going to die, and you focused on the positive. That is so hard, but that is so rare to find in people like you. So how did you get to that point when you realized, hey, you just have sleep apnea, and we give you this treatment, you'll live for a very long time?
So it was 18 years. And think of the aspect of 18 years. That's like a kid being born and they graduate high
18
school.
years.
Yes. So I
Oh my
lost, I mean,
goodness.
the way I look at it, is if I was that doctor, how would I want to be thought of? I don't feel he did it maliciously. I just don't.
Hmm.
And even this carries on to the shooting part too. It's
Hmm.
like the guy was trying to defend his life. Like if I
Yeah.
wanted it, the other part of this, if I want grace, I have to give grace also.
Yes.
That's not easy for people to swallow, but I'm not a
Hmm.
hypocrite. I'm not a
Hmm.
hypocrite. And so if I want something, I want to be able to give that to other people. Um, there was a part at the very first, there was confusion of the misdiagnosis.
Hmm.
There was part of like, okay, so I'll go ahead and tell you, I explored the attorney side on both issues. There just
Hmm.
wasn't anything there. The misdiagnosis, because it was so long,
Hmm.
there's periods where maybe I should have been like, hey, maybe I don't have this. This is what they were telling me. The other aspect is I would be paying $10 to get $6 back. That makes no sense to me. Like because the
Right.
insurance company be able the insurance company would be one would want to be reimbursed on false claims first.
Exactly. Hmm.
So they would eat up most of the money, and then I would be out legal fees, and then I'm in the hole. Here's the other thing,
Yes.
and I don't think I've addressed it, but I will address it now. Financially, I have struggled. Like I have
Yes.
not been able to keep a job. Entrepreneurship that I've had, I would do things and it would do really good, then I would get sick.
Hmm.
And this is like this was a yearly occurring thing.
Hmm.
The other aspect is if I would have stayed in that one job, that office job that I talk about from 2006 to 2010, I mean, I think it was like 50 to 55K.
Hmm.
So do the math, 20 years, that's $1 million.
Right.
So,
Right.
so, so $1 million that was income that I would have made. No money went in my social security or a 401k.
Hmm.
And then you would think the two aspects that I would be able to go get an attorney and be able to take care of that there's nothing there.
Hmm.
I mean, so maybe the plan is that I have to build the empire by myself. Maybe I
Right.
have to depend on my network. I mean, so there's some
Right.
different things, PJ, that's like it makes the story better.
Hmm.
And it also I'm capable of doing it by myself. It'd be a hell of a lot
Yes.
easier if I had it'd be a hell of a lot easier if I had other people with me. And I do have a
Hmm.
lot of people, a lot of great contacts, but they want to see what I'm able to do. And I think that's part of it. That's part of having the book, the course, the things that I'm doing is to help others, but it's also able to put me in a place that I'm capable of doing this, but I'm able to help others.
Okay. And let's talk about that. Like you have a program that I have your website showuptowin.com. That's your website where they can kind of find out about your programs. But can you give us a little idea of what you do and how you help others show up to win?
Absolutely. So show up to win is just showing up with intention. So like when I come on and I'm coming to a podcast, I'm always, whether I'm 100%, I'm 25%, I'm showing up. But a lot of people just tell you to just show up, like just be there. That doesn't make any sense to me. You have to show up and be present. That's what show up to win is, being, show up with intention.
Hmm.
Um, so my program is to help others overcome adversity in unlikely and untimely circumstance. I feel I'm an expert. I've done it twice. I'm a
Yes.
true lifer example. Like my life coaching things that I've done, I've went through it.
Exactly.
So so most people would compare to my issue and those issues. Like I went through a real huge mountain, right? But we do have anthills, and we stop. Or maybe someone else has a bigger anthill, and they stop. And I have anthills that, stop my progress, and then I go around, or go through. But that's what it is. It's about teaching people that, like, hey, you can overcome things. It's all about adversity and being able to be resilient and overcome. And so I created a program, PJ, that I was looking for. It's very heavy community driven. That I've been doing this since January, that I wanted to create it. And I want the community to keep me consistent, but also me to help keep the community consistent. But when a community is together, they can support each other, and that's when things really grow. So it's not a me thing, okay? Definitely not a me. It's a we, and it's an our community. I'm just the one that was blessed with, hey, I know what I was looking for, and so I built it. But truly, it's one of those field of dream types things. I'll build it, but I need people to come, and that's the thing.
Love that. That's one of my favorite movies, Kevin Costner, man, Field of Dreams. And you know what? If you
James
build
Earl
it and you have
Jones.
faith, and James Earl Jones, rest in peace. Oh my goodness, thank you for. I love that. But it's the truth. If you build it and you have faith and you take the course, it will come. And I'm feeling like you use this journey as a way to help you rise and overcome instead of letting it break you. And that's something that a lot of us don't have. So I really appreciate everything that you have shared tonight. Like, I mean, that's kind of what this platform is about. It's about us telling stories to help others see that it's possible to overcome. You just have to have that strength and that resilience within yourself. So, like, how do you how do you stay motivated daily? Like, you admitted that you had your struggles. How do you stay motivated on the times where it gets bad?
Yeah, so I definitely I think it's inspiration. So hold on one second. Let me adjust these headphones. So one of the things I want to explain is whenever I was misdiagnosed, when I found out I was misdiagnosed, I was like a wind up toy. If you ever taken a wind up toy and and you just held it, you can feel the energy inside of it. But then when you let go, it just like takes off. So the motivation is really inspiration. Motivation only stays for a day, maybe a week for most people. That's why when people do New Year's resolutions, they don't follow through. It's motivated. It's not inspired. So I'll give this analogy with what I feel, what I'm doing is if you take a Bic lighter, like one of the lighters, you dump it in water and you take it out, it won't flick because the flint's bad. So you take another lighter and you can push that button and you can light that, and then you have two flames. I feel like that's my purpose. I'm looking for people that need that inner fire lit up, and I'm coming to relight it. And so, my ideal client is an athlete or an ex-athlete. Like I want someone that like they want it and they know, hey, I have to make some changes, but I need support to make those changes. And so that's the beauty of these type of things is you're always looking for the correct people. And so here's the thing, PJ, I'm not a minimal person. I never have been a minimal person. I'll take that back. There's times I was a minimal person. I'm not a minimal person now. That didn't get me overseas. There's just different things. I'm just not a minimal person. So the people who are just like, I just want to do the minimum, you probably don't want to take my course just for the fact that I'm going to say, hey, how how much are you willing to put on the line? Like, how much things are you willing to do that most people are unwilling to do? If you want those type of results, that's what you got to do. And so through my program, that's what I do. I tell you, hey, if you want your results, let's find a way to get over those hurdles that you were unwilling to do 2 weeks ago, a day ago, 2 years ago. And those are things that stopped you. Let's find those things and let me explain why you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I
Right.
live outside. I live outside of being comfortable right now.
Every day. I'm
Every
comfortable
single day.
being uncomfortable.
Yes, at this point in time, like I
Right.
show up with no expectations now. I stay in the present.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
prepared as much as I can be, but I cannot think, oh, the expectations I feel it really messes most people up. I I think it's our society is like, hey, if I order a cheeseburger, then the cheeseburger comes. Same thing.
Right.
If I want to be a millionaire, I just want it, it should appear. That doesn't work. That's not how it works.
No. No. I love it. I love it. So, like, in your bio, you mentioned power of mental performance in achieving greatness. How do you personally develop that mental edge? Like you say, if you want something, you have to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. How do you grab that mental edge to be able to do what you do?
So I love that. So I tell all the athletes that I work with, we look on absolute truths. Okay. We work on absolute truths. First of all, I can go outside right now and I can either take it. When I take a shot, I either hit or I miss it. Like that's the absolute truth of taking a shot. Right. But, you know, as an athlete, 50% love you, 50% hate you. But if you make that turnover and you lose the game or you miss the shot, that 50% can turn over to the hate side. So I tell my athletes, I say, listen, I want you to not think about the crowd. I want you to think about those type of things. These are absolute truths. For the people who are fortunate to have good parents, I say your parents love you. But ultimately, here's the thing. God loves you, whether you believe or not. If you don't, like, that's fine. But I mean, there is some higher power at some point. Also, the sun comes up and the sun comes down. And I tell them that, and you should, PJ, they relax so much just off of that. I mean, I'm working with one of the top kids in the state right now that I'm in. When I told him that, he used to take losses really hard. He doesn't take losses hard. He sees them as lessons, not losses. Also, he used to never come out of his room. Win or lose, he's the same. And that's really the true mental performance that I'm able to give people.
Exactly. Exactly. Accepting it as it comes is that's one of the hardest things I've seen people have to deal with. It's just taking it as it comes and learning from whatever it is that you're going through. You're not going to always win. And I mean, you deal with athletes, so I get that. And being an athlete yourself, you understand that competitive nature is something that is really, really hard to deal with. So, um, how can people reach you? Like, you are a very strong, motivated, inspirational person, and how can they reach you? I got your website here. I'm going to put it back up. But how else, like, if they want to get you on Facebook, or do you share your socials, whatever you want to share it. And then what you can do is I know I have some of those. I'll put it in our group, in our chat, and
Yeah.
let them reach you, but let them know how to reach you.
So if you go up to show up to win, there's a join wait list. You put your information in, but if you put your phone number in, you might actually get a phone call, because I want to know how I can help you, how I can support you. Whether you take the program, you don't. I love people. I want to support you in any way. Um, the course, the book is going to be coming out in May. I have taken time to make it perfect. It's just time for it to be released. There's people to help. So on socials, Dwayne Morton on Facebook, just my name, lowercase. Show Up to Win on Instagram and Threads. Those are the two that I really love. And then DW Morton 24 on TikTok. I just started. I really do feel like that's going to be where a lot of my audience is. But I haven't built my socials up because I was concentrating on healing. And so now it's all about the people, building the community, finding the
Right,
right type of people. And then, so
right.
PJ, I just am about to launch my podcast on Tuesday. I've been
Okay.
recording episodes. So it's going to be on, it's called Show Up to Win. So I believe
Mhm.
I created a lifestyle brand. I'm just waiting for the right type of time to be able to get the apparel and the hats and all those wonderful things. But I truly believe it's going to be something like Live Strong. I just need to build that community. Like, sorry, not me. We are. It's our community, and so yeah,
Yes.
but that and that's new for me too, is to be able to say, because it's always had been me like doing this, but really, when you want a community, it's about the community and those people's thoughts
And you
and
know what? You're
how
doing a
how I
great
can
job.
support them.
Oh, no,
Thank
no,
you
no. I'm
so
sorry. I didn't mean to
much.
interrupt. You're doing such a
No, no,
great
no.
job. I mean, I
I
love your
appreciate.
energy, and you are so motivating. Like, you have come through. Like, I know we didn't talk about the shooting as much, but I feel like you talked about what you felt like you needed, where the angle that you needed to go. And it's just the fact that you are such a good, kind-hearted person, and all you want to do is help. When you have had such a hard 18 years, I thought it was 5. I could have swore I heard 5. Maybe I had my earphones on wobbly, but
No, no, no. So
18
I was
years.
initially diagnosed. They were going to give me 5 years to live, and then it
Okay,
that
that's where the
changed to
5 is.
15. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. I mean, it happens. So, but PJ, so if I have enough time to address the shooting, I will. It's going to be the 3-year anniversary
Go
on May
ahead.
16th. Yeah.
Go ahead. Address the shooting.
So what happened was a criminal had a hidden gun and shot an officer, and so in my community, It's very small. All of my friends were friends of the officer. So it wasn't like it wasn't supposed to happen. Somehow the criminal had a hidden gun. That's the best way to put it. And so for me, is like I'm a small piece of the story, but it's a big part of my story because it took a miracle for me to be here and for my niece to be here. So, you know, I was driving 45 miles an hour down the road. A bullet hit a C pillar, which is not very wide at all. So it's the piece of metal that attaches the roof and the bed of the truck. But
Oh
a
wow.
Chevrolet Avalanche is just fiberglass. It has metal
Mhm.
frame, but I mean, if you go pull up that truck, so I will tell you something really kind of the intuition, the discernment that I had to drive my father's truck, his white Chevrolet Avalanche, and not drive my black SUV that day. I just felt my tires had been going down. I didn't want to strand my niece. I didn't want to get stranded. But really, the problem with the shooting that I would say was the hardest was the PTSD and the survivor's guilt. But really, being a protector. That's my
Yeah.
niece. She was
Yes.
on there, and it could have it. The beautiful part of this is that me and her walked away.
Yes.
Maybe we have some type of trauma. She's not showing any
Hmm.
signs. I
Okay.
dealt with PTSD and survivor's guilt, but
Hmm.
like what really helped me was hypnosis. I found
Okay.
a really good found a really good friend that took those traumas, the misdiagnosis and the shooting, and moved it
Hmm.
down to like where it's neutral. And this was after, this is less than a year from right now. So it was like June of last year when all this stuff happened. So I'm
Hmm.
early into this thing. I'm early into this whole journey. Like I tell people all the time,
Wow.
I'm running a marathon and I'm like on mile 2. Like
Well,
I'm not even,
welcome.
yeah. And so that's the beautiful thing. And so, I'm looking forward to meeting people like you all the time. Right. But,
Oh
I'm
yes.
different. I'm different. Like I love Eric Thomas, but I don't want to be a yeller. I don't want to be a screamer. Like that's not me.
Right.
Right. Like I don't have that type of energy. I mean, like I do have that type of energy. I just choose to be like more low key. Um, but
Right.
that's the thing is like everybody has their taste. And so
Hmm.
I'm other people's taste. And, I believe the thing is that's the most thing is that I'm capable, I'm able,
Hmm.
but I'm willing. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to
That's
show up.
beautiful.
And right now, I'll be honest, like the trajectory for me is really high.
Hmm.
I'm running on just pure talent and just I haven't been to the coaches to like elevate my speaking, to elevate me as a podcast host, like to elevate me, those type of things, because they cost money that I don't have. Like right now, those are
Right.
things that will help me get to that the other side. But like truthfully, I could meet the greatest coach and they're overpriced for me right now. Like
Yes.
that's the thing
Yes.
right now. So I'll get those things when I'm able. So it's just the
Hmm.
yet. We were talking about mindset. So everything's just a yet for me. I don't have it yet. I don't. Maybe my book isn't out yet, but my book is going to be really good. I'm very fortunate for the people who are helping me prepare it. That's the other part is I have all the puzzle pieces. It's all about just putting the puzzle pieces together.
Right.
And on top of it, PJ, is I feel it's already been done. Like I'm literally just like, okay, whenever it happens, it happens. I'm extremely
Exactly.
patient.
It's
I've
just
been
waiting
setting
for it
for
to come.
right. I've been patient for all those years. So like,
Hmm.
what is another year? Okay, what's another
Right.
couple months? So I think
Right.
that's the most important part. Is like my mindset is like I know it's already been fulfilled. It just has to come at some point.
Exactly. Well, what advice would you have for someone who is struggling with mindset, getting over trauma, who's dealing with something that makes them want to give up and they need to fight? They need to, what did you call it? The mental, um,
The
I
mental
just had it in my head. Say it again.
the mindset or mental performance part. Sorry.
Mental performance. What do you
Yeah.
say with people who are struggling with achieving their mental performance? That's where I was going with that.
Yeah. So the first step is to begin. That's the number one step. But like I believe in two other things too, is either get a mentor and plan. Like most people either plan and go get a mentor or go get a mentor and plan. But that's really it's that I have decided today I'm going to do this. Have you ever had that moment, PJ, where I decided, like, I decided, hey, I'm going to go to the local Dairy Queen and get a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. It's just I've decided, hey, today I'm changing my life. It's the
Mhm.
same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody has a choice. It's just making that decision. But most people, they just want to say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Same thing with losing weight. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm just gonna go eat a couple of cookies. And there's times that I've did that too, but this isn't
Yeah.
that time. This isn't that
Right.
season. Like
Right.
I truly want this stuff. And so when people truly want that stuff, that's when they're okay, I'm willing to do this. And hopefully someone is listening to this and they're going to change their life. I tell people all the time, if I go speak in front of 1,000 people, 999 hate it, boo me off a stage, but I changed one person's life, everything's worth it. And so when you have that
Right.
type of approach, it's
Right.
not easy. Everything's just simple.
Exactly. Just help one person. I am on board with that. If I just save one person, that it was all worth it. So thank you, Dwayne. I want to thank you so much for coming out and sharing your story on my show. I am so inspired by you. I am so inspired by you. If you need I actually can help you get on a couple of podcasts if you just stay connected with me or with Marcellus. You are definitely someone that story needs to be told, and there's a beautiful story to share. Thank you so much for coming and giving us this time and helping to inspire some individuals who needed to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I love the fact that, hey, we were having issues and we just pressed on. Like we
We
just
just
decided
pressed
to press
on.
on. Right?
And like you say, show up. It's obstacles are gonna happen. I can't help but they can still hear my voice. All they need to hear is the message. If you don't see my beautiful face, sorry guys, next time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. Thank you for giving me your time and allow me to share. And I really hope that for some of you guys, you've decided to make some changes and you want to make a change to better your life. I truly believe if that's my purpose. Help others make changes so they can accomplish their dreams. I've already accomplished my dream. So, I'm living another part of my dream, but that's what I want to give to others.
Awesome. So thank you so much, David. You're gonna succeed. You're gonna reach that moment, and when you do, I'm gonna be right there clapping and cheering you on. So, keep doing what you do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for your husband for having the chat and stuff and getting us on board and all these things. Like there's so many people behind the scenes of these things too. That's what I was going to say. It's just so
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. Well, we will stay in touch, and I will make sure that I get you connected with some other individuals who have podcasts can help you share your story, help you network. So again, between me and Marcellus, we'll get you there. We'll do our part because you're going to do the work. I know you will. I have faith that you will. But we'll do our part to get you as to where you need to be on our end.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh my God, that was a beautiful, beautiful show. I'm just so inspired by his just the fact that he's forgiving and the fact that he was able to allow his pain to be his purpose, which is what this is all about. So I'm just overwhelmed. And if that did not stir something in your soul, I do not know what will. Dwayne, again, thank you so much for showing up with raw honesty, with unwavering faith, and that powerful reminder that resilience is not just a word, it's a choice that we make every single day. Your story, Dwayne, is not just inspiring, it's activating. It's it calls me. It may not others, I hope it calls other people, but it calls me to be higher. And I am beyond grateful that you shared it here on Insights of a Survivor. To everyone listening, this is why we do what we do. To spotlight voices like Dwayne's, to remind you that no matter what you face, no matter your story, no matter what, you still hold power. Your voice still matters, and your spirit is still capable of overcoming anything. If this episode spoke to you, share it, pass that light on. You never know who needs it right now. And make sure that you subscribe to Insights of a Survivor. Well, subscribe to my YouTube channel, my YouTube network, Empowered Voices Finding Strength in Survivors, where we keep these conversations going. Okay? And if you have any issues, if you need any resources, because I do know that we talked about, mental wellness, you can always contact Crisis Hotline. It's a text. Usually it's an 800 number. You can text HOME to 741-741. It is a free, confidential, 24/7 support for individuals who are in a crisis. Again, he went through a lot, and there was times that he could have needed that he did. Luckily for him, he was very strong, and he didn't need a lot of that. But those who may need that, please reach out, or you can go to their website at www.crisistextline.org. Okay? No one is ever alone, and support is always available. But before we go, I would like to leave you with this. You were not born to break. You were born to rise again and again and again until the fire in your bones silences the lies that the world tries to tell you. You are living proof that when life tries to bury you, you cannot give up. Your spirit cannot be contained. Every voice you've heard on this show, including mine, is not here by accident. We are all survivors, yes, but we are also more than that. We are builders of truth, carriers of legacy, and mirrors for those fighting the dark. So if you've made it this far, don't stop there. Don't let that light stop there. Like, share, and subscribe. Be the reason someone else believes that they can keep going. Because of this movement, because this movement is not about me. I stumble over my words sometimes. This movement is not about me. It is about all of us. It's about all of us. And as we close, I want to leave you with more words from Assata Shakur. I love this woman's. I've been reading about her, and the more I read about her, the more intrigued I get. Her words, not mine now. I have been locked by the lawless, handcuffed by the haters, gagged by the greedy. And if I know anything at all, it's that a wall is just a place to lean on before you push. I love that. I love that. I love that. So push forward, push through, and push free. This is PJ Jones, and this is Insights of a Survivor. Until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, stay rising. Never stop rising. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next week, stay strong.
It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
We go to meet you too, so come on in here.